Hello, I'm Arman Khodaei. I'm a 25-year-old with high-function autism. For the record, the shirt I'm wearing is blue. It is not pink. It looks pink on the camera, but it is blue in person. The camera is very weird, and I need a new webcam, to say the least. Anyway, what I want to say, The Horse Boy is an hour-and-a-half documentary, and it's a very excellent autism documentary. I really enjoy The Horse Boy. It's very interesting and compelling. It takes you on a journey from when this child is first born to like 6 years later, and it talks about how the child was born about 7 years after their first meeting, after the husband and wife first met and everything like that. It talks about how the child has severe tantrums, and you actually see these tantrums numerous times throughout the film. And it does a really great job of showing the autism tantrums. And they say sometimes it's had these tantrums for 4 hours straight. And in this film, what is very interesting is the child's connection to animals. The child has a very strong connection to animals. And he gets onto the horse, and he's very comforted by the horse, and the animals seem to understand him and comfort him. And so it's a very beautiful how he interacts with the animals and the horses and whatnot. And because of his connection to the horses, the father does some research, and he finds out about these horse shamans in Mongolia. And so the family, including the child, they fly out to Mongolia in search of some shamans. And they do different meditations and rituals and prayers on the child. And you see in the video itself the child changing it, and the child's behavior is changing. Literally, when you watch the video, you see the child's behaviors change. And what this shows is that that meditations, and that there probably is spirits, or there's some force, energies, whatever, out there that does affect people's lives, and it can also affect autism. And so it's really interesting to look at that for the spiritual aspect, because I do believe that there's a spirituality behind autism. And in Western society, spirituality is kind of like a scary topic to talk about, one that people are very superstitious of. But I'm very glad of what this documentary shows, and it's a powerful documentary. Before this, we see that this child's on a lot of drugs and stuff like that. It has a lot of, also it's spliced in with interviews from like Temple Grandin and other people, and they give their own side of the story and perceptions on autism and how autism is and whatnot. So that's very interesting. What's also interesting is that when they first go to see these first shamans, is that all the shamans agreed that there's a female on the mother's side, most likely her grandmother, who had a mental illness, and that it's affecting the child and actually causing them to have autism. So I found that very interesting. I've heard similar things before about spirits involved or whatnot potentially causing autism. I know it sounds crazy, but go watch the documentary. But I have heard in the past stuff like that. And is it possible? Sure, anything's possible. And we also see other parts, again, his obsession of animals, and the footage cuts to him playing with these toy animals. And he's a 4-year-old, and he groups them by their genealogy and all this other stuff, about even knowing what their genealogy is and what animal groupings go with what, but he does it instinctively, like there's an intuition. And with autism, there is that intuition, it seems, not necessarily with the animals and groupings or whatever, but it's like whatever one is with autism, like there's this great understanding that goes beyond intellect. I mean, like Mozart, he composed Mozart at the age of 2. He wrote a symphony at the age of 7. I mean, and you see this, what they call a genius mind, but is it really genius, or is there something else behind it? I do not know, but you definitely see that aspect portrayed in this documentary. In addition, he has after meeting these shamans, there's these ups and downs. You know, he'll be really good, like they've never seen before, then he'll get really bad and have these tantrums, including on the horse, which never happened before. But then they see these other shamans, and actually before they see these other shamans, there's a very funny part in the documentary where they're eating Rain Man cookies, which I found really hilarious because the movie Rain Man's about this autistic savant, so it was very funny that in Mongolia they have Rain Man cookies. I thought it was funny. Maybe you don't think it's funny, but I thought it was pretty funny that they had Rain Man cookies in a documentary about autism, and it wasn't even intentional. In addition, the dad talks about how autism is a blessing to him and how it has actually made him a better dad. And I thought that was a very beautiful part of the story when the father talks about how autism has made him a better dad, and then in some ways it's a blessing. I thought that was very touching. I could tell that both the parents, both the mom and the father, were very loving parents, and that they really cared about their child, and that they really loved them, and that they also, that the couple, the mother and father, really loved each other. And I thought it was very, very beautiful. I could feel a lot of love coming from them, and I thought that was I really liked that aspect of the documentary. Like I said, I just really loved the documentary, period. But I especially loved how much love we see going around there. And then they finally meet these deer shamans in Mongolia, and after they do that, some of the really severe behaviors go away for this child immediately after it. He's not 100% cured of autism, of course, but these behaviors, a lot of them are gone, and it's quite amazing. So you really have to watch this documentary. Anyway, I thank you for watching it. It gets an A+ for being awesome, and I wish all of you a most awesome day of awesomeness. And thank you.